This is the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast with Sal and Sam, a new podcast for engaged couples concerned about wedding planning and family expectations but want a stress-free, fun, and unforgettable wedding.
Hi, I'm Sal from After Hours Events of New England.
I'm Sam from Atmosphere Productions DJ Service.
Welcome to the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
Are you having difficulty sleeping, nervousness, headaches, stomach problems? You could be suffering from wedding planning stress. Do you know how to identify the source of your wedding planning stress? Today we have Vanessa, the operations manager of After Hours Events of New England, with us.
After listening to this edition, you'll know and understand the answer to those questions and learn how to handle your wedding planning stress and put that knowledge to use right away.
Don't worry, wedding planning stress is perfectly normal. A recent Zola survey showed that 96% of couples experience wedding planning stress. We'll explain several key elements of planning that you can target today.
We're not doctors and we don't pretend to know all the answers, but we have the experience of seeing these symptoms and over time have recognized what many couples can do to relieve themselves of worry and anxiety.
With over 80 years of combined wedding experience and insider information, this is Stress-Free Wedding Planning with your hosts, Sal and Sam. A new podcast for engaged couples who are stressed about wedding planning and family expectations, but want to have a fun wedding. Listen now for revealing wedding insider secrets, tips, and strategy or lesson that you'll be able to implement for a stress-free wedding. Information that you just can't miss and may just change your life. Take the journey with us from worry and concern to a stress-free and unforgettable wedding day. The Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast with Sal and Sam.
Welcome to the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast. This is DJ Sam.
And I'm Sal from After Hours Events of New England.
And by sheer coincidence, we have our resident expert back. It's good to see you again.
It is my pleasure. Yay, Vanessa's here.
It's Miss Vanessa. And on today's topic, we are going to be discussing how to manage wedding stress. Obviously, that's what our podcast is about, the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast. So getting engaged is very overwhelming, and it's a whirlwind. You know, when these things start, your initial celebration is to call your friends and say, yeah, I'm getting married. This is what I'm going to do. And they're all going to ask you, when's the date? Who you're marrying? Sometimes they ask that too.
I hope they would know, but okay.
And then the reality sets in that before you know it, you have to start planning. And that's when the stress really begins. Where do you start? What do you have to do? How much money do you have to save? Do I have to ask my parents? And then the panic really starts setting in because the nightmares start and worrying about whether you're going to actually make it down the aisle. That's when it really sets in that you really need some tricks, some ideas, some expert advice, and that's what we're here for.
Identify the source of your wedding planning stress. Very important. Speaking with your partner and communicating a lot so you're both on the same page at all times and feeling very comfortable about things. Everyone is involved, not someone's doing all the work and the other is not.
Very important.
So, some bullet points here are you trying to do too much? Back to sharing the responsibilities. Don't try to be the person who's taking it all on. Are you feeling rushed or like you don't have enough time? Time management, very important. Doing a little here, a little there, not trying to crunch it in all at one time. Have you gone over your budget? Oh, keep a big eye on that budget. Are friends or family putting pressure on you? This happens all the time, yes. Are you experiencing cold feet?
Uh-oh.
Oh. Do you simply not enjoy the planning process? Maybe that's where the wedding planner comes in.
Yeah, some people don't. Some people don't. Don't worry. Wedding planning stress is totally normal. Now, Vanessa, when you were getting married to this handsome, debonair gentleman over here, did you go through any wedding stress?
I think the biggest stress out of the whole process was dealing with friends and family.
That was the hardest,
That
really?
was literally the hardest because everybody has an input. Married or unmarried, they always have an input on what should be done and what shouldn't be done.
And sometimes you don't want to hear that, do you?
No, not at all. And not that they were mean about it. You know, it's just everybody always has some sort of expert advice that they need to give. So it's trying to weed out what is good and what is bad.
Well, wedding stress is totally normal. There was a survey done by Zola that said that 96% of couples experience wedding planning stress. I totally believe it. So we're going to try and help you out. And we've got some bullet points that Sal just went over, and we're going to kind of go into a little depth on that. The first one is taking care of yourself. Don't allow wedding planning to overwhelm your health, your physical health. If you start waking up in the middle of the night with nightmares and you need to go and see a doctor, you're obviously doing something wrong. Any tips on taking care of yourself?
Well, this is probably where it's nice to go to the nail salon and get your nails done and relax, have a pedicure, maybe a massage.
Male or female? Because let me tell you, Sal got his pedicure done with me probably more often than I did. Okay. But yeah, male or female?
Well, I know this is going to surprise you, but I have a monthly schedule set for that. My wife and my daughter got me into doing pedicures, and it's the most relaxing thing you can ever do.
No, it really is.
It is a secret that women have kept secret for hundreds of years, and when men find out about this, every man's going to be doing it. So don't tell anybody else.
Don't tell anybody else. Being a trophy husband, I have to really take care of myself. Because when I'm on her arm, I'm representing her.
Yes, if that was only true. Try a meditation and
put yourself in a good place. Go to a quiet area where you can sit down. You could have tea, decaffeinated is probably the best way to go, and some relaxing music in the background. And it's just this free hour that is just yours to kind of.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the bathroom, minus the tea part. But every morning, where's my quiet time? It's in the bathroom. I lock that door and say, And
speaking of that, you hit on the next topic, is talk it out. You are not alone in this. You have a better half that you're supposed to be marrying. Make sure you communicate with them. Don't you just go off and take all the stress all by yourself, because it's a team. The two of you are actually a team.
This is so true. And another thing you could do is talking to your professionals who could help you through things. Sometimes you don't realize, by calling one of your professionals who's been in their business for years, they might be able to give you a point of view that you would have never considered. Like, wow, thank you.
And most vendors, I tell my clients, if you need anything, call me. There's a reason why we say that. Call us. There may be something that you can't figure out that, we've done 100 times, and it's something very simple, but you think it's really complicated.
I've said it a million times. You have my number. You could call me, you could text me, or you could email me. I'll be more than happy to help you out.
There you go. Get organized is the next thing. Set aside a day or two where your sole goal is to get organized. There's lots of organization tools online. I always suggest to my clients that they get a wedding binder. First thing that they do, and they sell these online, and it has the little tabs that have all the different services that you do, and you start reading that. Don't fill it in yet, just read it, because most couples think that planning the wedding is just, all right, well, I just need to get the officiant and the facility and the alcohol and the food, and I'm done. 4 things, and I've planned the wedding.
Oh, there's so much more. And keeping inventory of what you've bought for the wedding. So,
yes.
Vanessa and I got married 2 years after the engagement.
I don't like where this is going.
And let me tell you, so if she had a spreadsheet, the money we could have saved. So
I know where this is going.
So she buys these wonderful centerpieces that we're going to have for our tables. And we went to every Christmas tree shop possible to find all these, and found out that she already had bought a bunch of them, which were in the closet afterward. So it's like, you already took care of that, honey.
So the fact was not making a list. It was the fact of checking it off the list.
Checking it off the list.
But before we go to divorce court, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with more suggestions for you.
You're listening to the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is brought to you by Emerge Cosmetics. Are you ready to emerge? A new line of luxurious lipsticks and lip glosses created with the intention of empowerment and coming into who you truly are. Strong, beautiful, and confident. Use coupon code EBI10 at shopemergecosmetics.com for an instant 10% discount. That's coupon code EBI10 for 10% discount at shopemergecosmetics.com. Emerge as the true you.
On today's Wedding Tip Wednesday, holiday wedding tip. Here's a big one. Send out those save the dates extra early. If your wedding date falls on an extra long holiday weekend, take for instance Christmas of 2023. It falls on a Sunday, for instance. Give your guests as much notice as possible so they can keep their costs down and their calendar clear for your big day.
Always keep in mind, when people are having a holiday weekend, they tend to take more days off and plan something with their families. So the earlier you tell them that something's going to happen, like your wedding, they could actually plan for it before they do that.
Yeah, because people plan things, especially as I mentioned, Christmas 2023. People are probably planning that now. So get your save the date cards out early.
And it doesn't just Christmas. I mean, even Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, people make plans for those weekends. So knowing earlier, if you could let people know at least a year in advance, that is the best.
And that's the key thing. The earlier, the better.
Better, exactly.
Wedding Tip Wednesday is available on the Stress Free Wedding Planning Facebook group page every Wednesday. Join the group for free.
You're not the same as the person next to you. You dress to reflect your personality. You enjoy customizing your drink at the coffee shop. Even your pet's collars match at least 2 pairs of your pants. It's only natural that your wedding would showcase your unique touch. After Hours Events of New England gets this. They like to give their clients full artistic control. If you find yourself lost, their team of event specialists can help. They handle everything from DJs, photo booths, event lighting, photography, videography, even officiants. Give them a visit on the web and call today. Let's get planning. After Hours Events of New England. After Hours Events of NE.com. Don't forget to like and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and be sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel, all at After Hours Events of NE. That's After Hours Events of NE.
Don't know what to do for your first dance? Is your future spouse having trouble picking a song to dance with their parent? Worry no more. I have the answer. Go to afterhourseventsofne.com/contact guest. That is CONTACTGUEST. And you'll be able to listen to hours of music to help you select the right songs for your upcoming wedding. Again, go to afterhourseventsofne.com/contact guest.
Do you want access to a stress-free wedding planning process? Then go to our website, allthews.atmosphere-productions.com, and get my free report. 8 questions you must ask a wedding professional before booking them. Get it today. That's allthews.atmosphere-productions.com. Look for the free report and learn to shop like a pro from a pro, and go from concern and worry to stress-free wedding planning.
When your wedding entertainment has to have amazing music, be fun, organized, and professional, your choice has to be Atmosphere Productions. DJs, live musicians, custom lighting, and photo booths. As seen on the TLC TV series 4 Weddings, winner of the Wedding Wire Couples Choice Award and DJ Times DJ of the Month. Experience the difference. www.atmosphere-productions.com. That's www.atmosphere-productions.com.
Happy holidays to you and yours.
This holiday season, we'd like to thank everyone, especially our listeners who continue to support the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast. You are the foundation of what we do each and every week.
We'd also like to thank our sponsors for their continuing support.
No matter how you celebrate this holiday season, we offer you love, peace, joy, and our best wishes. We want it to be filled with good health, happiness, and spectacular success.
Listen in the new year, tell a friend, share our tips and suggestions, and join us in the stress-free wedding planning community, because we'll have awesome new additions, features, and special guests.
Check us out on social media by using our hashtag Stress-Free Wedding Planning Podcast. Happy holidays!
Everyone is talking about the DJ Pauly Show on YouShook.com.
Hi everyone, this is Keith Urban, and you're listening to the #1 DJ on the planet, DJ Pauly.
What's going on, everybody? This is Charles,
Hillary,
and Dave,
and we are
Lady Antebellum.
And you're listening to the #1 DJ on the internet. It's DJ Pauly, y'all.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelsey Ballerini, and you're listening to the #1 DJ on the internet. It's DJ Pauly, y'all.
The DJ Pauly Show on YouShook.com. We dare to be different. Join us and see for yourselves.
Welcome back to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast. This is DJ Sam from Atmosphere Productions.
And this is Sal from After Hours Events of New England.
And this is Vanessa. ... I don't have a title.
Vanessa has kindly joined us because we're talking about wedding planning stress. Everybody gets it. It's normal. We've already talked about taking care of yourself and talking it out with your partner. Get organized. And before we left, Sal was just running over his wife with the bus about making a list and checking it twice and then checking it off third time.
You learn from other people's mistakes.
It wasn't a mistake. It was planned. Okay, you just didn't see my plan.
You wanted double
clearly.
everything. Prioritize tasks and create a wedding planning timeline. It is important to kind of list things in the order of importance, things that you need to take care of earlier compared to later. You may want to put dates on this list so you know when you're getting closer that you're going to take care of this. Things you want to know is, if you're thinking of canceling something, what is the cancellation thing in their contract? So you have to have all these clauses in front of you so you know what's not going to mess you up.
Yeah, that really goes back to what we talked about in the first half, and that's about getting organized, getting all these things in order so that we know what you're supposed to be doing, and then delegating tasks. Now, Vanessa, you must have done that because I know you're very good at delegating and telling others.
That's right, because I'm married and I have a husband and I can delegate very well. I want to touch upon that prioritizing tasks bit. There's a lot of websites out there that give you lists on who you should, book and who you should get in what order.
Yeah.
But I found that it's not always right depending on what area of the country or even world that you live in. So I think that a good start would be finding your venue and then asking your venue their opinion on who should be next, because they work with a lot of these venues and they know how often they're booked out, and they'll hear, okay, next go to your DJ, because guess what? 2 years out, they're already booking.
Yeah.
And they know when they're actually booked.
Yeah, and it's
how
not
early.
necessarily that your photographer is the second person that's booked. That's tradition says that.
Right.
But there are a lot of photographers out there nowadays. Maybe photographer's not second on the list where you're from.
And a DJ, if you actually consult with a DJ earlier, you could find out more about photographers and some of these other services, because we work side by side with them.
And a lot with the photographers, too. They also say that the reason why you want to book them early is because you want to get engagement photos. But not everybody's getting engagement photos, so it's not a necessity right off the bat.
Yep.
But you also want to be able to choose who you want to hire, as opposed to being left, I guess I have to go with this person because they're the ones that are available.
You want your options to be
exactly.
Yep.
That's why I picked Sal early, because his options, he was looking good. Yeah.
Good one. I like that one. We're talking about delegating tasks, and it takes two to tango, as you two are very familiar with. So you need to get your partner involved, and you need to get family members, your wedding party, maid of honor, best man. All these people have different tasks in the wedding planning that they can do. And there's no need to just say, well, I'm going to plan it all myself because I know I want to do it right. It may do, but you just don't have the time.
And one of the problems I find is the most stressed couples are the ones who are not talking with everyone. Maybe 2 months before the wedding, we'll worry about that stuff. No, you have to take care of these things early, because you might have to hammer out some details.
But you have to backtrack about, with that a little bit. Just because you have a 7-person, wedding party doesn't mean that every person has to have a task.
No, not everybody. You're right.
And because depending on what you want to assign to people, they may not be the best fit
person for that.
So
the most reliable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you don't want a wide net either. You don't want to have to worry about too many people. And,
everybody has different flavors and themes and visions.
Yeah.
They may not be yours.
They need to stay in their lane and do what they do best. Good point. Yep. Good point. So allocate your time so that you know how to take breaks. That's very important to do that. Every once in a while, it's good to turn off the phone, turn off the radio, turn off the TV, and go take a yoga class or
have a date night.
Yeah,
have a date night.
Sam has something about yoga. I think there's something secretly happening.
He does
over
goat
here.
yoga. He does goat yoga. You should see. I've seen him. I've walked by the front window, and there he is.
Nay. Taking a break is very important. You don't want to get yourself so wrapped tight in stress so that you end up in hospital and have to go and see a doctor. Taking a walk is a great way to relieve stress. It says here that 62% of people that take walks actually are able to reduce their stress. Great idea.
And if you're not an angry drunk, maybe a little drinking with a friend. Not too far, but a little, just a little.
Take advantage of free apps. There are loads of stuff that you can do online.
Oh, those type of apps.
Yes.
I was thinking food.
No. There's lots of apps that are online that will help you with the wedding planning process. I know the stuff on Wedding Wire and the Nod and Zola. They have all these little applets that you can use to help you plan and make it easier. And even setting up a group chat, Facebook group or something like that can help as well.
I know that Facebook groups have been very, very helpful to a lot of our clients.
Okay.
It's because they have a broader reach and they can ask questions in general to people that have already been married, have been engaged for a while, and it's already gone through the process. So instead of just an app that you're searching things by yourself, a Facebook group might be that way to go. You can see good, bad, or indifferent things that has happened or will be happening. And
of course, we recommend Stress-Free Wedding Planning Community on Facebook because we're actually there to answer these specific questions. So Vanessa's absolutely right. There's also another thing. If you set up a Facebook group of your wedding party,
personally,
and then a Facebook group with friends and family, you can actually get instant responses back from these groups. Much better than in the old days when you had to call somebody up and do stuff like that. But
be careful who you have joining your group.
That's true.
That could become even more stressful. So you know who to keep out. What else do we have to plan for? Like a backup plan, right? Especially if your event is outdoors or you're having a ceremony outdoors. What happens if it rains? What happens if it snows? Yep. What do I do? And these are things you should be talking to your facility about, of course, on how they go about taking care of those things.
Yeah, plan B, C, and D, especially if you're having your wedding in spring or late fall. You can either have a 90-degree day or snow in New England.
It's New England,
anyway.
yeah, there you go. And you got to make sure everyone is on the same page together. It doesn't have to be just a facility that knows plan A, B, C, D.
Yep.
Everyone else, your entertainment, your photographer, anyone who is in direct contact to what's going to be happening for your wedding day, they should all know how things are going to happen if things change.
Totally agree with you on that. Schedule more time than necessary for appointments and tasks. You don't want to have the bride or one of the couples be the last one in the hair and makeup to be done because they need to get out first.
First-hand experience recently, my sister just previously got married, and we had a very wonderful and timely makeup artist and hair artist. So one stylist took care of my sister. That was her job. And then there was a second person that went from bridesmaid to bridesmaid to bridesmaid. Because, yes, guess what? Depending on your hair length, there's so many different things that could go on. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that one person, the lead stylist, took care of my sister, and that took quite a while. She has long hair and her makeup, and frankly, she has to be the one that's perfect. So, and she arrived 3 hours before and got Nikki done. It took her 3 hours, like 3 hours for one person, like good, bad, or indifferent. Like she was beautiful.
Yep.
And then the other stylist took care of us. So I think timing is very, very important because if they run late, guess what? Literally everything at that point goes late.
It can fall apart very quickly just from that thing alone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's why we suggest a first look so that once the bride or the couple is finished with the hair and makeup, take them right out to the first look and get that out of the way. And then you've just scrunched all your time. You've just saved a ton of time.
Well, the only thing I want to say is, with having that first look, too, is if some reason that does run really late and we can't do the first look now, but at least you have that extra time now that was planned for this, and this could be moved after the ceremony, for the pictures. So it gives you a buffer. It helps you out timing-wise.
And that's why you hire professionals, because what Sal just mentioned is something that not every guest is going to be aware of or even notice, but behind the scenes, you've just done something that has literally saved the couple half an hour, 30 minutes just by doing one element. And that leads me to the final thing, and that is consult a wedding planner. If at the very beginning of this you think that you are going to have all these stressful situations, the very first thing you should do then is get a wedding planner and let them worry about all this scheduling and organizing, because that's what they do. If you can't afford a wedding planner, then a day of planner is also good. But some sort of planning you need if you feel as if you're going to be stressed.
Yeah, sometimes, your job just gets in the way. You have all these other things that are happening. You just don't have that time to dedicate to this. You have the wedding planner do all the legwork, and you consult each other.
Yeah, and life sometimes gets in the way.
And frankly, the whole preparation prior to that day should be stress-free,
Yes,
right?
should be.
It really should be. There's going to be times where there's bump in the road, but it should be an enjoyable process.
Yep.
And that's why you're listening to this podcast, your stress-free wedding planning podcast.
Is she doing our next commercial?
So we just reviewed for you ideas on managing your wedding planning stress. We went everywhere from taking care of yourself, talking it out with your partner, getting organized. We had you make a list. We had you prioritize your tasks, delegate, obviously, and have a backup plan. Take a look at those apps. Allow yourself to take breaks. Schedule more time for your different vendors. If all else fails, get yourself a wedding planner.
You're listening to the Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast.
Remember those questions we asked earlier? Are you having difficulty sleeping, nervousness, headaches, stomach problems? Do you know how to identify the source of your wedding planning stress? We answered those questions and you learned how to spot the signs of wedding planning stress. We explained how to manage your stress and anxiety and how to put that knowledge to use today.
Now, as you spend the next week planning your wedding, our community of stress-free engaged couples and wedding experts are here to answer any wedding-related questions. Join us in the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Facebook group. Once you're in, go ahead and share your concerns and worries. We'll let you know if you're on the right track or if there's some things that you should work on. The link to join us is in the show notes of this edition, or go to Facebook and search for the Stress-Free Wedding Planning Community.
Remember, a new edition is released every Wednesday. Ciao for now.
Until next time, it's TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
The Stress Free Wedding Planning Podcast is produced and copyrighted by Atmosphere Productions in association with After Hours Events of New England.